You're watching India Today Global. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has landed in Bangkok for the BIMSTEC summit that is being hosted by the Thai government, and also will then be going to Sri Lanka for a bilateral visit. But his first stop is Bangkok, Thailand, and while there are going to be a lot of conversations on connectivity to do with BIMSTEC, there is also going to be a lot of conversation with regards to bilaterals that he's going to hold on the sidelines of BIMSTEC, which is the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation, a grouping of countries that come together in the region, talking and focusing on trade and on connectivity. To discuss this and more, I'm being joined by Umesh Pandey, Thailand government trade representative. He's based out of Bangkok. Umesh, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today Global.
Sawadee krap. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Absolutely clearly. Umesh, to begin with, a very warm welcome to Prime Minister Modi. We saw a lot of pomp and circumstance, visuals of him disembarking to music, to dance, to culture, and a lot of color.
Yes, that's what we are famous for, aren't we? Thais, we are a very hospitable country. So thank you for taking the opportunity to come and visit. Appreciate that, and we have always been a good host to every country, every leader, every person actually from India and from other countries around the world. It's one of the key areas of our economic growth is tourism and hospitality. So yes, truly appreciate the opportunity that the country has given us, India has given us at the moment.
Right. Umesh, we will talk about the brass tacks, the nitty-gritties of BIMSTEC and the bilateral, where both countries are going to talk about trade and economic cooperation as well. But before that, a very unfortunate thing occurred just a few days ago. The earthquake epicenter of which was Myanmar. Myanmarese leadership is also going to be there in Bangkok, and then Bangkok feeling the aftershocks and the tremors which impacted Bangkok as well. Prime Minister Modi is there. He had immediately extended all kind of assistance that Bangkok requires. What's the kind of conversation that you think, that you anticipate could take place between India and Thailand when it comes to relief, disaster management, and rehabilitation?
I think we would like to thank every country that has offered help to us. Truly appreciate it. There are many countries that have sent military personnel to help in the evacuation of just one building. It's not the collapse has only happened for one building. That was under construction. So the impact is not as severe. Buildings. This is the strongest tremor we have had in centuries, but the impact has been minuscule. So the only casualties have been in that particular building were mostly construction worker. Sorry about those people, but the news that has gone out has been a bit more, it's made a fear factor, created a fear factor. So Bangkok overall has not had major impact. So yes, we appreciate the help and offer from every government, including government of India. But if you ask me today, Myanmar as a country needs more help than we do.
That's true.
We ourselves have offered help to the government of Myanmar. So if all that help most of it could be diverted there, it will actually be great, because a lot of human lives have been lost there rather than just Thailand. But yes, thank you. Appreciate every country's offer to help us.
Right, Umesh, now coming back to the BIMSTEC summit, what do you think is going to be the focus this time around? A lot of the conversation when it comes to BIMSTEC or revolves around connectivity and trade. Is that going to be the focus, or are there other elements also that you're seeing this time around?
I think the biggest focus should be connectivity and trade. Today, the world has seen what impact the administration in the West, I'm not naming any administration, but we all know, could have. The implication, the impact of the trade tariffs that have been made, the reciprocal tariffs that have been made, is going to be so severe for the next 6 to 12 months that we all need to focus purely on trade and investments. There's no other way. Connectivity, trade investments, free trade agreements are the only way that we can mitigate. The impact is going to be severe enough for every country's economic growth to be impacted. And the only way we can do it is intra-trade, have intra-trade take the center stage among all 7 countries in BIMSTEC.
Very interesting that you mentioned reciprocal tariffs at this point in time when at a very critical stage that this BIMSTEC summit is taking place amongst countries that are very critical and important to the region and in the region. Do you think that the countries in BIMSTEC are going to discuss alternatives to the United States of America to ensure resilience in their own economies and markets?
I hope so. The summit is going to take place now. Prime Minister Modi, Indian Prime Minister Modi just arrived. He's going to be meeting my Prime Minister in about 3 hours from now. The key focus for every meeting that we are having, and even including BIMSTEC, would be how to increase the trade, the $2 trillion trade that we have over the last few, as of 2023, if I remember correctly, to raise it further, to have a better connectivity. We as a region, this BIMSTEC, 7 countries, account for just over 1.7 billion. Obviously India is the largest one. The economic activity among ourselves could help mitigate a lot of the problems that we may face. So yes, I think and I hope center stage for entire conversation should be economy. And now that the reciprocal tariffs have been implemented, it will show on stage how these will impact each country, and they would be forced to talk about it.
Right.
So yes, please.
Right, Umesh, in terms of bilateral agreements, what are the expectations from the business side, the business community, on the bilateral meetings that are going to take place between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Shinawatra?
Oh, good question. I have the details, but I cannot reveal. The bilateral discussion will be focusing a lot on trade, and some other issues, some other issues that have been discussed in the past. So 2 things that we are going to focus is on trade, and 2 is also looking into more transfer of knowledge, technology, other things that India is strong in. So that's our side. We are looking at creating a bit more activity on that aspect. Apart from that, intricate details, you'll have to wait for another 3 hours, and then an official announcement would be made thereafter.
But are there important agreements that are going to be signed? Anything on the trade front?
There are a few MOUs that will be signed, but please give us a few. I cannot reveal. I'm an ex-journalist myself. I cannot reveal. I would love to say everything, but problem is, you being in a different position now. I'm on the other side of the fence that you are on. I have to try to avoid saying things that's not public information yet. So give it another 2 hours, you'll find out.
Okay, what about the focus on tourism? A lot of Indians travel to Thailand. Is that going to be a focus area as well?
We want to. So I have been involved with the tourism for a while, since early last year. And as I said, I've said in many forums, last year, 2024, we saw 2.2 million Indian tourists. This year, my personal aim is 3.5, but even if we achieve 3, it's good enough. I love setting higher targets and then trying to achieve those higher targets. So yes, we are looking at ways to offer more landing spots to aircrafts. I've been in touch with literally every airline across the world and in India, trying to offer whatever they need in order to increase tourism, both ways. Thai tourists into India and Indians into Thailand. Obviously, we are 67 million people population.
Yeah.
So the number of tourists from our side would be minuscule when compared to yours. But yes, I truly appreciate, truly look forward to more Indian tourists. You have been very good. You are I think the 4th largest tourist arrival country. India, if I remember correctly. Obviously, China is first.
Yes.
Malaysia is second. Yeah. Yes. So you're the 4th largest, and I want that numbers to keep rising. We offer everything possible. We offer your food. We have taken note of people who are vegetarians. So every major tourist destination has some kind of a vegetarian food especially for Indian tourists. So yes, we are trying to balance things so that you as Indian citizens have all the benefits of feeling at home when you come to my country.
Okay, and about engaging various countries in Thailand, we have the Bangladesh representative there, a country that Thailand is also India work very closely with. But is this political instability that you see in Bangladesh one of the reasons why we could see or could be a stumbling block when it comes to connectivity in the region?
Ooh, I don't think so. You're asking that question. I don't think so. Bangladesh is in its own. They have their own political leadership. Connectivity, if you ask as a ex-journalist slash politician now, I would say it's in the best interest of Bangladesh and every other country in BIMSTEC to create that connectivity. I take example. I will not comment on Bangladesh, so to say, but for my own country, Thailand manages its expectations with China, with India, with the US, with every other country. We try to manage all the expectations. We have been a country whereby we like to have friends. Everybody is our friend.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, once we take sides, we tilt one way or the other. It may or may not work out in the long run for us. So we never, ever, ever in our history, if you go back and look into Thailand's history, we never take sides with any country to the extreme. So yes, I'm not going to comment on what Bangladesh should do because they have their own political leadership. They make the call. But I'm giving an example of my country. We are managing everybody. We try to manage everybody's expectations, everybody's problems, everybody's issues. Come, we'll talk. We talk things out. So I'm giving you an example of my countries. If Bangladesh wants to apply, that's up to them. If not, that's their call. Sorry, I cannot, as a politician, I cannot make calls on any country. Either way, left or right.
That's true. Yeah? Finally, is there a number in terms of trade? Is there a number that Thailand is looking at to increase trade with India and reach a certain level? What's the number? Is there a ballpark figure?
If I remember correctly, that's a difficult one. I think the trade number was we are looking at this year was I think 12 or 15% rise. The trade numbers that we're looking at, but the key here is to have the free trade agreement. In order to raise the trade levels, Thailand and India has had a kind of early harvest free trade agreement where 82 items have been given a free trade status. What we are looking for is a full-fledged free trade agreement whereby trade between the both countries could be easier. It's just easier to do things. The reciprocal tariff hopefully would help trigger or be the catalyst in creating that, raising that 82 numbers to high numbers. I hope so. So the Ministry of Commerce, myself, we all are going to push for a higher number of items on the trade FTA, free trade agreements. So yes, I think the trade will rise for sure. What numbers? You'll have to wait because that will be announced once both prime ministers meet today in about next 2 hours.
Right. My final question to you, because you made a very interesting point. Do you think the reciprocal tariffs now could act as a catalyst to have expedited FTAs with many countries?
I hope so. I truly hope so. That is the only way. There's no other way that we can mitigate the impact of those reciprocal tariffs. We have to help each other. The likelihood of all, you can see the numbers, and I was just sending messages to my friends. I said, for once, I'm actually thinking, I wish I was a journalist. Back to my journalism days. Countries such as Antarctica is being impacted with tariffs, and what they're saying is nobody's safe. Nobody's safe. When nobody is safe, it is us holding hands, each other's hands, that will take us to the next level. And that can only happen if and when we take the free trade agreement to the next level. We truly need to. Otherwise, we'll all suffer.
All right. Thank you so much, Umesh Pandey, for
Appreciate
joining
it.
us here on India Today Global. We might try coming back to you to discuss what really happened in the nitty-gritties of the deals and the MOUs that are going to be signed between India and Thailand. Thank you so much.
More than happy. Khop and khap.